Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are live. Welcome in. We're always curious about where you guys are calling in from. So if you want to drop in the chat where you're calling in from, we would love to know. We typically have a very worldwide crowd, which is amazing. And I wanted to just mention up front that there will be a replay. So if you can't make the entire thing, don't worry about it. We'll send an email about 3 hours after we start. It'll have a replay. It'll have all the freebies that Danielle's about to give you guys. So nothing to worry about there. And we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome into today's workshop, which is called the From Novice to Ninja series. My name is Grant Williams. I am the Customer Advocacy Manager here at Kartra, and I'm thrilled to have you guys here. We always do these once a month, and so we try to bring top experts, Kartra certified partners to come teach us some really, pro tips and some amazing tools that you guys can use to increase your knowledge about marketing, about using Kartra, about online business. So today, get ready to discover how to create white glove customer service automations that make your customers feel loved and stay compliant with the FTC Click to Cancel rule. All previous From Novice to Ninja events can be found in the guide section of the Kartra official community or also on support.kartra.com. We will have a Q&A at the end, so feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Also, the replay will be available, so do check your email for that. And before we get started, I want to introduce our amazing co-host today, who really needs no introduction if you have been in our official Kartra Facebook community or you've watched her super helpful YouTube videos about Kartra. It's Danielle Doucette. Danielle, also known as the Kartra Coach, is the online marketing strategist and coach for business owners using Kartra who want to grow and connect with their email list, sell more of their offers, and automate in an authentic way. So we're super excited to have Danielle today. And with further ado, I will let Danielle take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I see some names that I recognize in the chat. Hello, hello, and hello to everybody who is new to me. I'm so excited to be here with you today. We're going to talk about some stuff that's going to help keep you compliant, but also going to help you reduce your customer service issues and hopefully increase those payments from your members in your memberships. So, okay, let's get started. Slides. Grant, can you put them up or can I click here?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's get started here. Let me put in. All right, so just a little bit about me, some things you might not know. I am a mom to a college student. She is studying law, and she's a dog walker. I'm an animal lover, and I'm going to bet that I have more pets than you. I'm also a plant mom, so my house is full of plants and animals. I'm a collector of seasonal mugs and tumblers. So you can see here's my December mug. And I have a knack for combining authenticity and automation in marketing. So a lot of times people feel like if they start to automate things, they're going to lose that personal touch. But I am going to show you a way to automate in a way that actually makes the connections that you're going to have with your customers, your clients, and your members even more authentic. It's going to give it that personal touch. All right. And just to prove, here's two of my pets. This is Honey and Holly, and they were hanging out with me last night while I was putting the finishing touches on my slides. Okay. So we're going to talk about creating white glove automations that make your members feel loved and builds trust. And I'm going to tell you why those two things are important, even for your bottom line. We're going to talk about the best way to handle subscription billing, to reduce customer service issues, and ensure those payments keep coming in. So we're going to try to reduce those credit card failures, I didn't realize my credit card wasn't working, I didn't realize it was about to get canceled, that kind of thing. And how to stay compliant with the new FTC Click to Cancel rule, if you haven't heard about this yet. Now, I do want to preface this by saying I'm not a lawyer and I'm not giving legal advice. This is the way that I understand the rule, and we'll talk about it and how you can stay compliant. But do want to consult a lawyer if you have any questions. All right, so the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, has a new law coming out, or a new rule, rather. It's called Click to Cancel. And it requires businesses to make it as easy to cancel as it was to sign up. So what they're talking about here really has to do with, like, if you signed up for something online, but when you go to cancel, you can't find an email. There's no place to, cancel in your account. You've got to get on the phone and call someone, and it's a real hassle. So when they say that they want it to be as easy to cancel as it was to sign up, they mean, like, if you're going to sign up online, you should be able to cancel online, and it should be easy for someone to do. And that's what we're going to make happen today. So sellers must provide a simple, clearly labeled cancellation mechanism that's at least as easy to use as the method to initiate the charge. So that's what I just explained, right? We want them to be able to not have to jump through hoops to be able to cancel. Businesses must align all marketing language with the rules transparency requirements. Again, we want to make sure that they know going in how easy it is to cancel, and we want to kind of make that transparent, that it's not difficult for them to go hunting for it on your website. And the rule applies to recurring subscriptions, free trials that convert into paid subscriptions, and recurring product shipments. So there's 2 dates that, these rules are going to go into effect. One of them is coming up on December 16th, and that's the misrepresentation. So that's kind of you want to be clear on how they are able to cancel when they're signing up. And then the other one is that disclosures, consent, and cancellation rule, and that's going to be April 14th of 2025. But these are things we don't have to worry too much about, because I'm sure that if you implement what we're going to do today, you will be all set. And just to know that businesses that violate the rule can be fined up to $51,744. So, this can be expensive. And if you're in the online coaching space or the online course creation space, I'm sure you've seen a lot of talk about the FTC cracking down on even small businesses. So this is something that, it does apply to us, even if we're a smaller business and we think we might be able to slide under the radar. I'm going to show you how to do this today, so that you don't even have to worry about that. But also, there are bigger benefits to your business. Of course, it's important to stay compliant, but we're going to talk about the things that really matter: the bottom line of your business and member satisfaction. So what is white glove service? Well, white glove is a phrase to use to describe excellence in care, service, or attention. And so we're going to create automations today that actually increase that care and attention feel, that's going to make your members feel loved, appreciated, and all that good stuff. So why would we want to make it easy for someone to cancel their subscription, right? I know that a concern right off the bat might be, well, if I make it easy for someone to cancel, doesn't that mean that more people will? And the answer is, it's possible, but probably not. So if you have, let's say, for example, you have a membership with thousands of members and it's $7 and there's not too much getting updated into it. And maybe you do have a lot of people who would cancel if they, knew how. And so you implement this and you see that there's a little bit of a bump of cancellations in the beginning. But most of us are running memberships that have a community, access to us, new content coming in. There's plenty of reasons why your members actually want to stay, and making it easy for them to cancel actually can have the opposite effect. It can actually increase retention, and it can actually increase sales on the front end. And I'll talk to you about how that works. But when we make it easy for someone to cancel, we build trust, right? So just knowing that you're not trying to lock me into something that's going to be difficult for me to cancel later on feels good. It makes me feel like your brand is a brand that I can trust. It makes me feel like you appreciate me being here and you're not kind of trying to hold me hostage in this membership, right? So it's going to make members feel appreciated, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. It's going to reduce your customer service tasks, because imagine if instead of having members like randomly find you on Instagram and send you a DM or flood your inbox or open tickets that you then have to go through and manually cancel out your subscriptions, we're going to be able to automate a lot of that. It's going to reduce refund requests, because when people know ahead of time that a next charge is coming up, if they do want to cancel, we want them to be able to, right? We're not trying to keep anybody that doesn't want to be there. But if we don't have systems like what we're going to do today in place, you could find that they remember after they got a charge. And then instead of a cancellation, you're dealing with a refund, which means you get stuck with those processing fees, and we don't want to see our refund rate high. And it can even increase signups. And we'll talk about how when you explicitly share about how easy it is for someone to cancel on your sales page or in your promo materials, it can make people like introverts, neurodivergent people, people who just don't want the hassle or feeling like how hard is it going to be to cancel this thing. And also, if you're a coach and you work with clients, they may feel like it might be awkward if they have to have a conversation with you or send an email directly to you, letting you know that they want to cancel. So letting them know that it's super easy for them to leave if they need to, and that there's no hard feelings, can really go a long way with your clients and members that want to stay in the good graces of their coach. Now, the way that we're going to do this is we're going to work on our self-billing link. If you don't have that set up yet, we're going to get that set up. And we're going to use the pre-bill email notification. So the first thing inside of Kartra, what we're going to do is set up self-billing. If you're not aware, this is under sales. And then under sales, you're going to click on self-billing. And here are the options. It's actually pretty easy to set up. And we'll go through that now together. So you have the URL, which you can customize to be on your custom domain. And you can see mine is /update your account. You can put whatever you want there. And then here are the options. So we have allow invoice download. This can be helpful at tax time. If you have a lot of clients that need to grab their invoices at the end of the year for their accountant, if you have self-billing set up, you can send everyone to this link and they can download those themselves. So you don't have to go hunting for them. You can allow credit card update. Now, this one's important. We want people to be able to update their credit card before their charges start bouncing, right? Stop going through. You can allow refunds. So if you have a refund policy on your products that is set inside of the product setup, so when you're setting up a product, you know the section that says your refund policy, and there are some options there. If you set that up, then you turn on allow refunds in your self-billing, and you automate it. Kartra will actually either approve or decline a refund request based on what those settings are. So if you have 7-day, 14-day, 30-day, Kartra actually can tell whether that request is coming in within the refund window or outside of it and make that decision automatically. Or you can turn on manual approval here. So if you want to see all of the refund and cancellation requests and manually approve them. And then we have allow cancel subscriptions. So that's the important one here that we're talking about. We want to turn that one on. And then the bottom thing here, and I'm kind of in the way of the little switch there, but it's automated versus manual. So you can have Kartra automatically approve or decline, or you can have it set to manual so that you'll get notified by Kartra when someone puts in a request for a refund or a cancellation, and then you can go ahead and approve or decline that. Now, this is what that self-billing page looks like once you set it up and you share this link. You'll see that people need their email and they need their order ID to be able to log in here. This is secure. It's separate from your portal or your membership areas. This info is kept in a separate location. And so I'm going to show you a little trick to make it even easier for people to log in here. So we're going to set up a notification. We're also going to give them that order ID. So they don't have to go looking for that or open a ticket or ask you to find that order ID for them. Now, you can also turn on self-billing inside of your help desk. So if you are using the help desk, then you can turn this on. But the difference between the self-billing inside of the help desk and the self-billing link is updating their credit card info and being able to download those invoices. So I do recommend using the self-billing link in the email that we're going to set up together here. But you can turn on the features of requesting refunds and canceling subscriptions right inside of your help desk. And you can set this so that it automatically approves, or you can manually review, same as inside of your self-billing link. And this is what your My Orders section looks like in your help desk when you turn that on. It's very similar. It's going to have their email and their order ID that they need to be able to log in there. Now, the second part of our white glove automation is going to be to turn on the pre-bill notification. So you're going to go to, in your Kartra account, the settings and then email notifications. And on that first screen we land on, it is to your contacts. And there are these 3 notifications. They are off by default, and you're going to choose which one you want to turn on. You only want to choose one. You have a 1-day, a 3-day, or a 7-day notification window. Personally, I use the 7-day, but of course it's going to be up to you. You just don't want to turn on all 3. So you're going to slide that slider on for the one that you choose. And then we're going to take a look at what that email looks like, and we're going to jazz it up a bit. So by default, this is what that email notification looks like. You can see that it says, Dear Customer. So we definitely don't want to address our members and our clients and our customers as customer. So we're going to personalize that. And then it says, this is a friendly reminder that in 7 days, you'll be rebilled for the following subscription. So then there are these dynamic variables that we don't want to change. We want that to populate with the product that this is regarding, and the amount and the date that that's going to come up. And then it says, if you have any question, do not hesitate to contact our customer support team. Thank you. So we're definitely going to change the copy in this email. And I'm going to show you what mine looks like. So here we've added customization. We've got first name. And then we've added some brand personality. So instead of this being the email that's going to remind them of the bill, I say, this is your regular email letting you know how awesome you are. But also, I wanted to remind you that in 7 days, you're going to be billed for the following, right? So we just add a little bit of our own brand voice in there. we add a little bit of a personal touch, and we make an email that could be something that somebody just doesn't want to see in their inbox turn into something that makes them smile. So you'll see also, besides the official product name, the pricing, and the next payment, I've added a couple of extra things here. So I've added a link. This link goes to the self-billing link, and it says, click here to update your credit card info or cancel your membership. Now, I do put a little note here that says, please note payment plans cannot be canceled. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. And then if you need help, here's a video tutorial. This links to a YouTube video I have on how to use self-billing. Just walks people through it. I'll give you the link to that video and you can actually use it as well. You're welcome to recreate it, but it's non-branded. You can just use mine. And then I give this information right here. So to log into self-billing, you'll need the login email and the transaction ID. And I give you that dynamic variable right there, which is subscription _ initial _ transaction _ ID. And you do not need to remember that or take a screenshot right now, because when you get your goodies that I'm giving you, you will have that in, and I'll give you the full template that I'm using here. And then I say, anyway, hope things are going amazing and hope you're having a fantastic day. So you can see that I've added a lot of my brand voice and personality in there, and you're going to be able to do the same. So what we want to do here is we want to make our members feel appreciated, and we want to make it feel very easy. We want people to feel like they'll be able to just easily manage this. And when I talked about how that builds trust, you can imagine that now I can breathe easy. Like I don't have to feel like this is going to be such a hassle if I want to cancel sometime in the future. So when your brand new member gets this email, they're going to feel super appreciated and they're going to feel really good about it. In my personal experience, I did not experience any type of increase in cancellations. In fact, I have members who are on monthly payments who have been in my membership for 4+ years. They get this email a lot. They're not rushing to cancel just because they get the email. In fact, I've had people say they appreciate it. I've had people reach out, and after people cancel my membership, even though it's a one-click, like easy to do, they don't have to reach out to me. I often find that they do reach out just to tell me, hey, by the way, I'm leaving for XYZ, but I had a great experience in your membership. So this really goes a long way to building that feeling of community, feeling of appreciation, and your members will, you might find that you actually have a higher retention rate over the long term than you did before you introduced this feature. Okay, so here's what we're going to add to that default email in your email notifications, the personalization. So however you address your clients and members, dear first name, hi first name, whatever you want to use there, I recommend using that first name dynamic variable. You're going to add your brand voice and character. So whatever that looks like for you, you want to add something in there that is just another touch. Instead of just sending this reminder of, hey, you're going to get billed in 7 days, make it another touch point where you're connecting with your members. You're going to link to your self-billing. You're going to add those two additional dynamic variables, the login email and the transaction ID. And you can link to that video walkthrough of how to use self-billing. So it is easy, but it's always nice to have that extra video. Now, it's important to note a couple of things here. These settings apply to all products that have subscriptions or payment plans. Okay, so if you are building this out with your membership in mind, but you also have products that are payment plans or installment plans, you want to remember that this email goes out to them as well. It also goes out to any subscription, monthly, annual. So we have to keep the wording in the email generic enough that we're not specifically talking about just one membership. Unless you don't have payment plans and the only membership you have is just one, then you could get as specific as you want. But remember, if you grow and add new products, you want to come back and adjust this. But there are ways where we can personalize this email without being too specific. We just want to keep it in mind that it's one email template that's going to go out for all of our payment plans and subscriptions. And if you do have payment plan products, you do want to make sure that you're clear in that email that the cancellation only applies to memberships and subscriptions. And you may want to turn your approval settings in self-billing to manual so that if somebody on a payment plan does try to put in their cancellation, you can go ahead and decline that one. Now, manual approval, as far as my understanding, as long as you pretty quickly address any requests, especially if you have that 1 day prior notice. So that's why I like to use the 7-day pre-bill email, because I have 7 days to do anything on the back end I would need if it was manual. But as long as you're pretty quickly approving everyone who is allowed to cancel, then I don't think having manual approval is a problem for being compliant here, because on their end, they did only have to really just click that one thing to get in there and go ahead and cancel. And that'll keep you from having people who are on payment plans accidentally clicking that, or on purpose, and trying to cancel their payment plan. So once you set this up, your self-billing and your pre-bill notification, you're going to have a compliant click to cancel system, a way to build trust and remind members how you appreciate them, a way to reduce customer service issues and refund requests, because you're no longer going to have that, oh, shoot, I meant to cancel, but I forgot, because they're getting this reminder, and a way to reduce subscription and payment plan charges not going through, because you're also giving them a way to click over to self-billing and update their credit card info if they need to before that bill comes through. So this is a great way to really overall reduce your customer service load, and also just make it super easy for your members to do what they need to do. Now, another way to build trust and remind members that you appreciate them and kind of bring people back into the membership. So if you're concerned, like, well, they're going to get this email every month, and maybe I have members who aren't super active, and this is going to remind them that they're not active. Like I've mentioned in my personal experience using this over the past couple of years now, I have not experienced that. I have some members that have been in my membership for a very long time. They're not the most active, they're not in the community. They don't hop on the calls, they watch the replays, but they get this message every month and they're not canceling, right? They know the value of what they're in. What you can also do in this email is if you have a portal that everyone logs into. So you wouldn't want to use a login link specific to one thing if you have more than one product where people would get this email. But if you have a portal link where everyone logs in to get access to their stuff, you could add that into the email. So you could remind them that they can access the things that they're getting paid for by clicking here. So that is one way to actually kind of bring your members back in to be even more active, besides just reminding them that their next bill is coming up. Okay, so if you've been wondering, like, this is great, I want to do that, and I want to update that email copy, how can I do that? I have a way for you to get your goodies. So if we can pop the link into the chat, I think it's DanielleTheKartraCoach.com/goodies, or you can use that QR code on the screen if you're able. I'm going to give you the slide deck here that I've got today, step-by-step instructions, and the customized email template I use, plus some other suggestions, some bouncing off points of ways to add your brand voice and personality and make the email a little more personal and positive versus just a straightforward billing reminder email. So you can get all of those there. And while you're doing that, I will go through any Q&A we might have. Thank you so much, Grant and Kiara. I appreciate you. Let's see if there are questions. Oh, there's a lot of questions. Perfect.
Yes, thank you so much, by the way, Danielle. That was so amazing. You guys keep the questions coming. We'll have a little Q&A right now. Danielle, do you want me to read some to you, or you want to take it away?
Yeah, you can go ahead and read them out. That'd be great. Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay. So just a quick question from Lee Pearson about closed captions. I just wanted to mention we will have closed captions on the replay. We upload these to our YouTube, also to support.kartra.com. We have a whole on-demand section called Advanced Strategies and Tips with all these videos, and the closed captions will be on there. All right. So next one from Mercedes Kusik says, I'm brand new to Kartra. My course only seems to have a PayPal option, not credit cards.
Okay. So Mercedes, I think I saw some people helping you out in the chat there, but you'll just want to go into your integrations, and the way that it looks now in 7.0 is a little new, but you said you're new to Kartra. So what we see when we're on our integration screen is actually our active integrations. We do need to click the blue button in the top right to add a new integration to see all of the options that we can add. So you're going to do that, and then you have the ability to add your credit card processor. So Stripe or Square or Authorize or Braintree, whichever one, and you can integrate from there. And then you'll have that option.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle. Next one from Anthony and Christina Johnson. They asked, where do I find the link for people to update their credit card or cancel?
So that's a really great question. And you're actually going to find that. Let me go back to the slide where I show you that. And that is going to be under sales. Oh, goodness. One more. There we go. Under sales in your left-hand sidebar, and then self-billing. That is where you're going to create that link. You're going to select your options. You're going to customize that link if you'd like to, which I recommend putting it on your custom domain. And then this is the link right here. You're going to copy and paste, and that is what you would give someone to update their credit card or to cancel.
Perfect. And this kind of goes into a next question from Geraldine. Is Helpdesk a growth plan feature? Do you want to talk about, maybe the Helpdesk is a growth plan feature, but what features you went over today that are on Starter as well?
Yep. So actually, the link that I recommend using is self-billing, and that's available on the starter plan as well. So even though you can put self-billing into your help desk, it's not the way I would recommend doing it for the pre-bill reminder. So what I've taught today is available to everyone on starter, but the help desk is a growth plan or above feature. So self-billing, which is the way that I taught, is available to everyone. That is on starter. And yes, the help desk is a growth plan feature. And while you can put self-billing into your help desk, you don't have the option for the updating the credit card or the downloading of invoices, which is, I think, an important part of this. So I recommend, even if you are using a help desk, for the pre-bill email that we went over today, use your self-billing, and that's available to everyone.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So the next couple of questions I remember were about people on payment plans versus like subscriptions. So This one, Michael Roberts says, can you go over again this bit? Please note payment plans can't be canceled.
Yeah. So, I see the question like, is the email different for memberships or payment plans? So no, right? The big thing here is that there is just one email notification template that goes out to everyone. So we do want to keep that in mind and word it in a way that is inclusive to everything that we've got in our account. So if you're someone with one membership and no payment plan products, you can pretty much customize that email to that membership. But if you have your membership and you also have some products that have payment plans, you want to make sure that you're including verbiage that tells people what they can and can't do. So payment plans can't be canceled is something that we need to say in our email. It's not actually, so the problem is that Kartra treats subscription payments and installment plans in the same way here. So if we let people cancel on our self-billing link, technically somebody who has a payment plan could click through there and request cancellation, which is what we don't want to have happen. So that's why I suggest, if you do have a lot of payment plans, to put your self-billing link on manual approval. So that way you can decline those people on payment plans who maybe click it. But also the wording that you use in your email can let people know that the cancellation is only for memberships and subscriptions, and payment plans aren't able to be canceled, which will hopefully reduce the amount of people who do click through and try to cancel their payment plan accidentally. But yes, that's something that I want to make sure you know going forward, so that you know that you need to word your email notification in a way that kind of clears that up and makes sure that people know they can't cancel their payment plan. But you know that on the back end, actually, if you had it on automated and somebody with a payment plan did click to cancel, they actually could. I've actually requested that we maybe get an update to that, so that subscription products and installment plan products are treated differently in this way. So we'll hope that maybe that is going to come up in the future. But for now, we want to make sure that we just kind of make it clear in our email notification so those payment plan people don't try to cancel.
Perfect. And then you may have answered this too with that, but for Melody Biblo, so you mean the settings apply to both?
Yes, exactly. So as it stands currently, the settings that we turn on in self-billing apply to subscriptions and payment plans in the same way.
Amazing. Thank you. And then just for those feature requests, we really do listen to everything that you guys send us. So if you want to send any feature requests, anything you'd like to see us innovate and change, you can send those as a support ticket, and we will put that on the future board.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. Send that in so I'm not alone in it. Maybe we'll get that updated. I think it would be a great, just it would make things a little bit easier for us to manage, having those be separate. But knowing what we're dealing with right now allows us to take measures to make sure that, you don't run into any issues. Knowing ahead of time means you won't get any surprise cancellations there.
Yeah, very wise words. Very wise. Yes. All right, question from Lee Pearson. Can you send a different email to memberships and products?
So no, the email notification templates are all across the board. So that is why we want to make sure that we're wording that email notification in a way that applies across the board to whatever products might have a rebill.
Perfect. Question from Beak K says, does Kartra know when a credit card is expiring and will remind customers?
Yes, Kartra actually does know that. And there's another email notification in your email notifications tab. You can find that one, and it goes out to the member before the expiration, inviting them to update that credit card information as well. And that brings up a good reminder that I wanted to share with you. If the email notification section that I showed to you is something that is new to you, if you're like, I didn't know we had that, I really encourage you to go through every single one of those email notifications in the to your contacts tab and customize them. You can see how with our one that I showed you here, the default, how that it was written. It's a very basic email template. It's not going to have your brand voice. You may want to make some changes in there. Like, I don't have a customer support team. I don't want to say that to people, that kind of thing. So I do encourage you to go through all of them and customize them in a similar way to the way that we customized this pre-bill notification. And yes, there is one that's going to remind people that their card is expiring. Kartra is smart like that.
Perfect. And all those email notifications can be found under the settings section on the right-hand side of your dashboard.
The left.
Left, you're right.
Yep.
Thank you. Let's see. Question from Christian says, I have English and German speaking clients. Can I somehow make a email for both languages?
Kristen, I would recommend putting both languages in the same email notification. So, but I would put one and then the translation underneath it, because they are just one template for everyone, for everything. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Question from Dominique says, is there a way to change the word order on the subscription login page for clients who have ongoing services with us?
So unfortunately on that page, there is not. It is going to, on that self-billing page, there isn't a way to translate that word or change it to something different.
Correct. All right. Question from, let's see, Uriah. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. What is the drawback of putting this process, especially how to change credit card, in the help desk? It is a common problem. Many people don't get the emails.
Okay, that's a great question. So what's the drawback of putting this into the help desk? So the help desk self-billing section doesn't include updating the credit card info. But if you have a common problem where people aren't getting your email, first, I would say that you want to address that overall, because that is something that, can definitely have a positive impact on your business if you improve your email deliverability. But that being said, the other thing that I would do is that you're not limited to putting your self-billing link just in this email notification that we've set here. You could put it inside of your membership itself. So you could have a post in your membership that says, manage your subscription, and link to self-billing in a button or an image in there, basically so that they can find that there. If you have a community like a Facebook group or something like that, you could put that link in a post there. You can share that link anywhere and in any way that you want to, so that people have access to it.
Perfect. All right. Question from Iman Akram says, in the email template, the dynamic variables of official product name, transaction currency, subscription recurring amount, subscription next payment. Can you please show us where we can customize these options?
Yep. So in the email notification, so on my slides here, you're going to click the pencil to the right of the email that you want to update. So let's say if it was my 7-day pre-bill notification, I'm going to click that pencil, and then I'm going to be able to update the content in there. Those dynamic variables are not ones that you will want to make changes to. You'll want to keep those in there, but you can add the dynamic variable that I give you in your goodies if you opt in for that. And you can change all of the rest of the text in there. Perfect.
And then that answers Cheryl Brinkley's question, how to add dynamic fields. So yeah, that link is in the chat. That they're also in Kartra too. And you can add the dynamic fields in there. Let's see. So Carol Sumler says, I only work in the help desk, and I don't see how to send a message to another department with any notes for myself on a situation.
That question is going to be outside of the scope of this training. Sorry about that, but I'd have to take a look at that to kind of give you the answer on that. Also, if I'm able to switch to screen share here, I just want to go into those dynamic variables really quickly. Let me just see.
Yeah, I'll stop the slide presentation.
Okay, thank you. And where do I have that? Oh, at the top. Okay, perfect. Okay, so are you seeing my, yes, okay, perfect. So this is this is editing that email reminder. That's the 7-day email. So one thing that I did want to touch upon is that these dynamic variables are not actually in the variables that you can grab from the top of the email. So the one that I've given you in the goodies there for the order, the initial order, is something that I got from support to be able to add in here. So that's why I wanted to share that with you so that you have that customization. And we just kind of want when you're doing these email notifications, they do have unique dynamic variables that we don't have access to in the regular list. So we just want to make sure that we're not editing or changing these. They're not part of the regular dynamic variables. So we'll edit around those, or you could always copy this into a doc so you have them just in case, and then bring them back in if you were to accidentally edit them out.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So Uriah also asked, do we have access to your example of customized emails? And I just sent those. The link for Danielle's freebies are right there below. And then finally, one more question from Anthony and Christina Johnson. I would like to know how to set up the help desk for my clients. I will post the support article here for you guys. It starts a series of how to set up that help desk. It's pretty simple, straightforward. And if you don't find the answers there, then feel free to reach out to support.kartra.com, and we'll be happy to walk you through that. And I think that's all I see. Do you see any other questions, Danielle?
Let's see. I think that's it. Does anyone have any last questions for me? I'm happy to help. Otherwise, thank you so much. I hope you all go and implement this. It doesn't take very long, and it's definitely a big value add. And if you have those subscription products, it's going to, keep you compliant going into the new year. And I can't wait to see what all of your results are.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate your time, and check the email for next month from Novice Ninja. And thank you so much, Danielle, for everything. We appreciate you so much, and we'll send the freebies along with how to get in contact with Danielle in the replay email that's coming out in about 2 hours. Awesome. All right, see you next time.
Thank you.